This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts.
Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome back to another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
For those of you who are new or just joining us, we are a queer podcast
Pun intended.
that talks about cannabis,
The LGBT community,
and everything in between.
and beyond.
So welcome.
Welcome.
Oh boy, man, let's go straight into this strain because
Can we? Because I've had this before and I like it a lot.
Oh boy.
Oh,
It was your pick this week.
I'm sorry. I ruined what could have been a great clip for TikTok.
What?
And you could have put that meme over top of it. That, oh boy.
It's okay.
That could be edited right there. There
Yeah.
we go. Memes. Anyway, this is just how my brain works. We picked this up. I think I picked this up. You picked it up. It has your sticker on the bottom. This is Boston Tea Party number 22 from Lost in Translation.
Which we've done a Boston Tea Party concentrate before.
Have we?
Yes, but never a flower.
Must have been a while ago. I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
no, it's been a minute since we did that.
Okay. It's a hybrid. I've had this off show before and I like it. And I think I was like, hey, you have some of that. Why don't you throw yours in the bucket and we'll talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I'll smoke it again. I liked it that much. Honestly, I would probably let's go to the review, the cannabinoids and stuff before I get to the review. I'm getting ahead of myself. So THC is 22%. THCA. THC is 0.412%.
Yeah, the sugar of the 22 on Queer Cartoons and r/trees.
Look at that. Yeah, we do. Oh, I do remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes similar. It does. Floral. Very floral. It does taste like tea. It tastes like Earl Grey. It reminds me of Earl Grey tea.
I could see why it's named a lot more with the flower than with the concentrate.
Let's see if any of these cannabinoids may make things a little floral. Linalool at 0.166. So, yeah. Bisbolol is also 0.1. Humulene is 0.14. Caryophyllene, though, coming out and top at 0.515%. And then limonene followed closely behind at 0.441. So, definitely, even in those smaller amounts, you're getting those floral notes in there.
Mm-hmm.
But, definitely feel the limonene. Nice, happy, bubbly. I really like this strain. I'm gonna honestly just give it a 4. It's affordable. Depending on where you get it, it has gotten cheaper across the board, like Lost in Translation and some of the other 8s. I like it a lot. What would you rate it?
This is actually going to be the highest rating I've ever given something so far.
Oh, really? You like it that much?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm very toasty and very giggly. I'm giving it a 4.4.
Wow, Rayven. That is okay.
It was nice. I'm the one that grinds usually, so that was a big factor into it as well. Even after grinding, it still maintained fluffiness. It was still soft, nice cure and everything on it. It was really nice. And I took a picture of it and it looks really great. Here.
Oh, I didn't take a picture.
No, I did today.
Okay. Also, I don't know if we said this was my pick this week. Ooh, that is nice.
It's really nice, very soft. And you know what? I got very high. I was goofing around with my pipe. And it could also be the delivery method. I will put that as an asterisk in there.
Because I did use your pipe, and oh my goodness, that makes all the difference.
Oh,
the wizard pipes.
My fucking pipe is awesome.
I didn't get to tell you what I thought of while I was out there that made me smile and chuckle, and you're like, what? And I think I got distracted, but I was thinking of those hand bubblers with the really long stems on them. And I was like, this flower would be really good in one of those.
You mean like the hand bulber we have?
No, say it's like a little like a bowl like the bottom of the Samuel Adams glass, like how that domes out.
Uh-huh.
And then it has the bowl down in there, and then like the stem goes down in the water, right? But then the stem from that goes to your mouthpiece comes from the bottom and then works its way like straight up, like kind of like a crazy straw.
Okay, like the up and side. Okay, the side
Yeah,
ones.
one
Okay.
of those. And I was like, oh, I kind of want one of those.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Rayven will edit that out. No, she won't. We're the Lo-Fi podcast.
No, this week's way too busy to.
Yeah, we
kinda do
have a
stuff.
lot of shit going on.
So.
No, I think a 4, or I thought about a 4.20 because 420. I do also. I just really like this flower, and I do give it props for affordability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely liked it a lot, and a lot of people that come into our stores, especially mine at least, that I can say like really like this flower.
Yeah.
When it's in stock, and I can see why. Do you want to talk about the thing you did recently that's really cool that I'm fucking jealous of?
The thing I got to, oh my god. So, I wish I could have taken pictures. And I totally understand why I can't, because trade secrets, yada yada. There's some things I will say, disclosure. For those of you who know me in real life, you know what I'm talking about. But for the sake of the podcast, we do not say where we work, or who we're affiliated with in those regards, because we want to stay bipartial on the show. Non-partial. Words are hard right now. But I went to my company's grow, and part of my job I had to sign an NDA. But I don't believe that this is just common knowledge stuff that I got to see firsthand, which was so fucking cool. Because can I just say, like, going up from like bud tender to like lead bud tender, and like learning about everything about being in the program, I was like, okay, I know how all this works, right? I know how the flower grows. I know how the extraction process works. I've watched videos on it, blah, blah, blah. But I actually got to go on Wednesday, and like, oh my goodness. So the building is absolutely ginormous. But I pulled in the parking lot, and like once I got out of my car and started walking towards it, like you could just smell, like within, I would say, like 30 feet of any entry point, window, door, doesn't matter. You could just smell the flower.
Yeah.
And like that was just an amazing aromatherapy session that entire day, let me tell you. I was just feeling great. I worked I worked a 10.5 after I came back from the grow. But like there was a lot. Like you had to check in, obviously, get your driver's license and have a little name badge. And then we had to go suit up. Give me 1 second, my throat is not cooperating.
You're good. I will say I'm a little jealous because I was supposed to go to one of the company I work for to a facility in Ohio to do a tour there, and they ended up canceling on me.
That's rude.
And then never set up any other tours afterwards.
Well, I will say this was supposed to happen like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
It got pushed back because shit happened at the grow.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff didn't get scheduled quite right. I am so sorry. My throat is just fucking...
You're good. You're good.
But anyway. So yeah, you got all checked in and everything. And then once we got us all checked in, they took us back to we got to introduce to everybody. We got to meet all like the head grower. We got to meet like the head of cultivation. We got to meet a bunch of other people that I can't quite remember all your positions, but you're all freaking cool and nice over there. And you go and you get scrubs, and you gotta put scrubs on over top of clothes, so in case you brush up against plants, which I did by accident, felt so bad, but they were like, oh my god, the plants were everywhere. But so like put your scrubs on, you had to put these little shoey covers on so you didn't track anything in through the plant rooms, so you didn't get any fungus or mold or stuff. But a hairnet on, and like you go through first, we went into the cloning room, and you got to see the babies. And I was like, oh, cute little babies. And they were like, I think max of like 5 inches tall right now is how big the clones were. And then they're like, all right, we're going to go into the mother room next. And you got to see the mother plants that the clones were from. And for like, I think like the first 2 weeks, they had these little greenhouse things. Literally, you go to the store. I'm like, you could buy those at the Walmart section, like home and garden section at Walmart, right? And I was like, this can't be real. This is the same feeling I got when I got into the industry. I'm like, this can't be real. And these plants aren't real. Somebody's going to come in here and shut this whole thing down right now. This is so illegal. I'm like, nope, they're allowed to do this. There's just so much in one place. It's unreal. The mother plants, they're all beautiful. They're like, you can see them and they all had their little tags and like, they were all listed on which strains they were. So like,
how big are they?
I would say the mothers are probably like 3 or 4 feet.
Okay.
They even like the ones that are ready for harvest, from like base to top cola, you maybe are only looking at like 4.5, 5 feet. They don't get super tall.
Mm-hmm.
But after the mother room, we got into the room that had like, it was flowering. I think those were like 3 to 4 weeks. And you got to see where like they started budding, and they're really nice. Like all of them kind of look similar in the really early stages. And then you went on to, there was another room that was a month to like, I want to say like a month to 3 months. And you got to see like the flowers on those. And then up to like the next room, I want to say was the ones that were like ready for harvest the next day. So like there were obviously a whole bunch of other, I think I want to say we saw maybe like a quarter of the building. It's that big. But there are just so many grow rooms there. But we went and saw all of the plants that had like, just like, they were just kind of droopy because of how many different, like the way they split the plant. So they have more than one top cola, so that you can get more like top buds off of them that have all the good terps and stuff, because those are closer to the grower lights. I did see, however, that they have to be really careful letting like the leaves get up that high, because those the big fanned out leaves will burn underneath those grow lights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have to go in and trim them off. But it's neat because everything's on these big moving carts. And they have like rails in the floor that you just move them back and forth.
Really? That's
cool.
cool.
I could walk in between. Like I had rows of plants on either side of me, walking in between these plants and just like looking. And I was like 2 inches away from this big top cola, and I just the smells were amazing. In that last room where just everything was flowering, and you could smell like all of the fruity strains, and then you had like some of the other ones that were more earthy tone on like farther side, and it was just so cool. It's like kid in the candy store. And I did say at one point, they do look good enough to eat. Like I did, there was one hanging out, and I just wanted to just I was like, probably shouldn't. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I will. Did they ever talk about like the actual process of growing, like?
Yeah, they were like kind of explaining, how they would like, where they actually showed us where they would clip the clones from the mothers, which was cool.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So like they would be like, yeah, so these mothers are, like they had a section of them that were ready to, be clipped and cloned, and you could actually see, because like I love growing plants, and I also know how to clip plants. So like you can see like where the stems form off, you clip those guys, and then you would put them into like the it's like a super high density nutrient block that basically promotes root growth. And once they start to sprout, they'd stick them in the I can't remember what kind of substrate they have for their plants for when they're really small. I think it's like a coconut husk kind of thing. Something that has a lot of nutrients in it for the babies, so they get nice and big. They actually docked a lot of the leaves, like the points of the leaves, off when they're small. It doesn't really affect them when they get bigger, but it just allows them to put more into that dome for the first like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I will say for anybody who's interested in how to do this, you can actually clone with any plant, really. It's called propagation.
Yeah, my grandfather used to do it with apple trees, and he would
That's-
splice them and make his own,
Mhm.
like...
It's a very
hybrids.
common usage of that is with like fruit trees in general.
I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like this is just kind of one of those things that's like, I don't know, I feel like humans evolved to do this kind of stuff. You know? Like, we evolve beside the plants, we help the plants, and, like, lemons are a perfect example. That box over there. Lemons would not exist without us. But it's just also something that's like, I don't think anybody really... I think I was shown maybe, like, once when I was young, and I watched somebody do it. Like, I watched my grandpa do it. And it's just kind of something that stuck with me on how to, like, propagate plants. You have a green thumb. You know? I think there is a lot to that. Because, like, also people have different chemistry. And I wonder if, like... That's probably, you know, that's why you have to glove up if you're going to touch the plants and stuff. Because your body chemistry actually can, like, conflict with the plants.
But also, it increases the chances of, like, mold growth and everything on plants, too. I will say that the growth of cannabis is very finicky in itself, and I tried explaining that to a patient recently that I was like, people always say that heirloom tomatoes are a pain in the butt to grow, and then you try growing cannabis.
I still don't understand why people have problems with tomatoes. I know it's mostly just because, like, the acidity in the soil, but it's also, I think it was just where I was living was good for tomatoes. In the middle of a freaking valley with, like, hills and shit, and then have, like, good dirt. If you could find dirt that wasn't clay, that's the problem.
That's good dirt.
Good dirt. But there was definitely, like, this is a factory feel to it.
Yeah, of course.
Because, you know, it's corporate cannabis. But after they took us through all the grow rooms, then we went to, we went through one of the back hallways where people are actually, like, pulling the buds off of the stems when they were dry. We went into the curing room where we saw the big, like, floor to ceiling, like, there were big, like, 10, 11 foot high ceilings. And these racks were 10.5 foot high with just full of plant material hanging upside down to dry. And just big, like, 5-gallon buckets just kind of chilling there of just dried I was like, it's just everywhere. That's just my only thought when I was here. It's like, oh my god, it's everywhere. And I bet if anybody looked at me during that trip, and I loved just looking at everybody else who was in the group, because it was just like, oh my god, we're just all kids and we're all just wide-eyed. Oh my god, there's so much weed here. And then we went on to packaging, where we saw them putting stuff in the packages, and I got to learn some top secret information, which was cool. And then it was cool too, because, like, a bunch of the people who work at the grow come into my dispensary because we're super close. Which is why it's like, oh, it's a field trip. Just go to the backyard. But sorry, I got to see the lab, the extraction, and their cool cart filling machine. That's neat. I got to smell terpenes, just straight fucking terps.
The ones that, like, are extracted
Yep.
from looking at? Okay.
Just straight in an eyedropper, but like a 30 milliliter eyedropper bottle of just straight fucking terps. And it was great. So cool. What else did I get to say? That wasn't our facility. That wasn't the facility that we do our concentrates and stuff at. We have a secondary facility that does our concentrates. But yeah, that was just, oh my god, it was so cool. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And there was like, oh, we got to see the storage. The storage, there we go. Like, okay, so I think I'm missing something. There's this machine that, like, sorts the buds out, and, like, you can, it also helps with, like, that's the shake machine that, like, they go in the conveyor belt, and that's where you get your shake from. There's this big storage room, and there was just, like, you know those big long sleeves of kettle corn you get at, like, state fairs?
Yeah, that's full of weed.
Yeah, full of weed, just full of shake. And I'm just like, oh my god. Just, oh my god. And then there was, like, people in there with, like, the trimming machines, and oh my god, those are loud.
Oh yeah.
So loud.
My store gets, like, cannabis business magazines. and I'm the only one that reads them because I'm very intrigued because, the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, those freaking machines are huge.
I think we got one of those in the mail the other day, and then we were looking at it. They had the good big masks on, like the N99s, like so that they had like no particulate matter getting through.
Like you're supposed to. True Leave.
So you don't kill people, True Leave.
We're never gonna let them live that down.
No, never. They shouldn't live that down.
Mm-hmm. And they only gave the family basically 1 year salary for it. Oh no, that was the OSHA fee. That was it. It was the OSHA fee was only 1 year salary of the employee. Ridiculous.
I bet you they didn't even pay for the funeral.
Probably not. That actually brings me up to a point that I thought of that happened that I remember. Chris, our friend from the Honeybee Collective, talked about that it's weird that bud tenders are paid the way they are. Because in like medical states, and he listed off a few, including Pennsylvania. And I'm not saying that we like this isn't like a woe is us, we're bud tenders kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he was basically saying like, we're basically pharmacy technicians in a lot of medical states. We have to know the ins and outs, recommend products for people who are actually going to help them and everything, not just get them high. So we're kind of like providing like a pharmacy tech mixed with like a cannabis connoisseur because of like the different ways and methods of using it that people are looking for. But we're also supposed to like this just basically this encyclopedia of knowledge.
Yeah.
And we're only getting paid $15 an hour.
Yeah.
That's if you're lucky in some states. So like he brought it up and it's like, I honestly feel like that it should be more. Now some people have debated that and being like, well, these bud tenders don't actually know. No, but the ones that do know and the companies that support that and actually require that they do know all this stuff, yeah, they probably should be being paid a little more.
Exactly.
My big thing is also the fact that like when I was working, a lot of people think it's like it's a low skill job, and I'm like, low skill. The fact that I have to have all these different process, like literally anytime a patient comes up and I'm supposed to know like the extraction processes, how these are formed, the grow statuses, all the state laws, what form's gonna help them and everything.
Uh-huh.
And this is a low skill job. Like, yes, is it it's not like fucking being a doctor or a physicist or a chemist. Yes, we don't need a college degree to do it. But I wouldn't argue it's low skill. There's still technical skill and information you have to know.
I feel like the people who say that are the people who also are on the opposite side of our argument. That, cannabis is still like this horrible thing and it has no medical benefit and this, that, and the next. And it's still kind of...
Someone at work said that.
Somebody at work said that?
You would think... One of my coworkers said that.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
I'm very disappointed.
I definitely don't think he was pulling the right words when he said it, because he's one of those guys that doesn't really mean like anything with ill intent.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm not mad. I'm just
well, because like there's no real middle ground. Like, but like also people think like farming's a low skill job, and I'm like,
it is not. Good grief.
Because you have to pick those like fruits and vegetables and everything at the right angle, and if you mess up where like you took like 3 leaves off, that's gonna spoil and rotten faster than any other like strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
If you're missing like a chunk of the top leaves, that's gonna spoil way faster, ruin everything else in the box and everything. And then most grocery stores don't want the ugly looking ones either.
Yeah, and they don't sell very well, and then they might not get have them buy from you again, or like.
That is not a low skill job. That's why I think there are no low skill jobs.
I feel like what it actually is, it is late stage capitalism shifting the focus on which jobs are important.
Yeah.
Because it's the people who work at the offices in the high rise buildings in big cities pushing pencils that are they're like, oh yeah, you went to college and you did this, and there's still like a great need for trade jobs and like the blue collar jobs or whatever you want to call them, right?
Mm-hmm.
The jobs that people are just like, oh well, why should we pay you more because it's low skill or it's low effort or like, well, hey, you try to live without this person at this job. And then you see how much your day is interrupted, right?
Yeah, because like that's why there's a lot of freaking strikes right now that are going on. Is because and this isn't even late stage capitalism. This has been an issue of capitalism where the people at top who are getting all the money don't want to pay people the right way. That's the whole thing of fucking laissez-faire capitalism. And the whole premise of A Christmas Story was Scrooge. Scrooge is the literal embodiment of laissez-faire capitalism. Why should I give more to help people? Why should I pay into these social programs? Are there no prisons that will give these homeless people beds and food? Like, what the fuck? Prime example. Arizona right now, there's a city in Arizona that is having some issue with homeless people, and businesses are suing the city. The problem is where all the homeless people are right outside the help center for them. Arizona has cannabis, medical at least that I know of. I'm 99% sure it's still medical. Why don't they just use some of that allotted money and give it to homeless shelters and stuff?
Yeah.
Instead of, cycling it back into, the elite with, grants and shit. Like, don't get me wrong, grants are good for, science programs and everything. And, farm subsidies and all that. I'm not saying those are bad. I'm saying the grants of the tech industries. They don't fucking need them. You have them for, small people trying to start up and everything? Sure. Elon Musk does not need grants anymore.
No. Elon Musk could give everybody in the world a $100,000 grant, he would still have fucking money left over. That's disgusting. That amount of money that he has is unfathomable to me. And why he couldn't have given 250,000 of it to be one of those 5 people in that submarine. I don't know why he wasn't that stupid.
It was funny.
Huh.
That thing was also connected with Starlink.
What's that?
Elon Musk's satellite internet bullcrap.
And they still lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that says a lot about him. At least it hurt him in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, can I say what everybody else also has been saying? The fact that the whole internet is just like, it should say something. Because these were millionaires. And that's just a comment on society.
The only person I feel bad about it was the kid.
Yeah, the kid. That poor kid. He was a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm. That's the only one I feel sorry for.
Yeah. All of the other ones...
Because he was probably going to, trying to spend some time with his dad and everything. But here's my thing. I was watching the videos. That thing had one button. To turn the TV on inside the submarine. The thing was controlled by a Logitech Bluetooth controller.
Not even a PlayStation 5 controller.
No.
Logitech.
And I'm like, the only thing I can think of that's going to happen is a civil suit.
But also those idiots signed the waiver.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that can happen.
Nope. On that note, do you want to go on our break?
Yeah.
Alrighty, and we are back. So I wanted to bring this up. The credit goes out to Jen Minkovich, who is a doctor who brings up state bill stuff a lot on the Pennsylvania medical marijuana subreddit. They have updated it from yesterday. The bill is scheduled for a third consideration and final PA Senate vote on 6/26/2023. State Bill 835 will make a number of changes to Act 16 of the Medical Marijuana Amendment. The bill was introduced to the PA Senate Law and Justice Committee with Senators Rayven and Brewster are the bill's sponsors. They also are the co-chairs of the Law and Justice Committee who set the committee's agenda. So State Bill 835 was heard in the committee very quickly, passed the committee vote, and has been sent to the Senate to be heard, debated, amended, and voted upon by the full Senate. Now, once it's done being voted by a Senate, it goes to the House, and the House has to vote on it. Oh my god, I am picking up on the Yinzer accent, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, vote for us for best podcast in Pittsburgh.
The House. The House has to vote on it.
So we could read the full language, but this is why I like Jen so much. They put in the highlights.
The TLDR?
Yes.
Because it's Reddit, because there has to be a TLDR.
I mean, the whole highlights is long enough for a TLDR. But basically here's the short and skinny version of it. The bill proposes remove the list of qualifying conditions from the program. Currently, a patient must have one of 24 qualifying conditions to be able to participate in medical cannabis. The new bill will allow doctors to make their own determination as to whether a patient's condition would benefit from treatment with cannabis. This is an interesting choice that would allow flexibility, but they were uncertain on how doctors would feel about having no guide rails. From a patient perspective, it would increase access to the program, is what Jen said.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot they put their own notes in there, which is really nice to see a doctor.
Yeah.
Kind of. Here, I'm in one of two camps here, right? Because if you go to a weed doctor, or like a group or telemed group like Greenbush Society, they're going to be like, yeah, no, here,
Yeah.
Because they actually think you need it, and they actually are pushing more for wider range, and they're going to do it respectfully. But then you have those ones that are advertising on like bus stops around here. Where you're like, get your med card today or something like that, and they're just going to punch people in and out like freaking the pain clinics back in the 90s,
Yeah.
And that's my worry with that. While, it's weed, it's not going to be any issue. I think it's going to give kind of a negative connotation from those that are against it and give them a little fuel, unfortunately. That's just me being cynical, though. I will say that. The thing I actually have a big issue with is not that, but more of the doctors having a little more free range of determining it and denying people access to it.
Yeah.
And basically thinking that, like, oh, you're just med seeking, because that is an issue already in our healthcare system. And I've experienced it. So it's pretty freaking horrible that this is a thing that goes on,
Mm-hmm.
So
can I also, real quick side note?
Yeah.
Slight soapbox. The term med seeking, the fact that has become negative irritates me.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who actually feels like they would benefit from medication, when I say, I'm going to seek medication, in like the I'm going to help myself kind of situation, that also is like, you're med seeking. Like, that's like the weird.
Technically, yeah.
And
I get you.
I don't like how that's also a negative side effect. Like, are there people that are going to abuse the shit out of some prescriptions? Absolutely. But are there people who are looking for medication for actually helping them? Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a high chance that like the terminology changed that I just never picked up on it,
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Remove the annual $50 fee to the DOH every year.
Do
It would be a one-time card fee for the ID card when they first get certified, and then just keep the same card forever. So you wouldn't get a new card each year. You would just simply it would simplify the process, and patients would just need to get recertified by the doctor every year to continue to use their card.
Okay.
Which okay.
But there's gonna be people who are gonna lose that fucking card.
Yeah. And then there would probably be a fee with that.
What about the picture? You are gonna look nothing like that person eventually.
Yeah, I will say that they're probably gonna go away with a picture, which that's not probably a good.
Is it gonna turn into like a snap card?
Yeah,
And have a mag strip that you're gonna swipe it
or something. But the thing because I get why they do the picture, or because that's the thing that's confusing to me, right? Because
how are we gonna let people in the building?
Yeah, how are you gonna verify that that person is the same person that has the card? That is that person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna stay this bill is basically, from what I've read and when I'm even going with it right now back and forth to you, let's just go fucking wreck.
Might as well,
because you're just creating more headaches for everybody.
Literally everyone.
Because yeah, it's good, but at this point, and okay, cool. So either every time you get a new ID and you update your picture, you get a new med card.
Yeah. So every 4 years you would get a new one.
You just don't pay it.
Yeah.
You just have one.
They just send it to you.
Yeah. Every time you get a new
or you pick it up at the DMV with your driver's license.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or every time you get recertified, you gotta go in for a picture or something. But doing that every year is gonna kind of be a waste. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What if they say you're gonna keep the same card?
Yeah, that's
I'm very confused.
That's where I'm is it gonna be the same exact card, or is it gonna have to be a?
Is it the same numbers, the same medical patient?
Yeah.
The medical ID, the patient ID are the same. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting.
Your card expires. All right, go to the doctor, and then all right, we gotta send a photo to it, and then they print you a new card, but you don't have to pay the state the fee. That's the thing that's gonna be, because it just says. You don't have it will remove the requirement for the fee. So it doesn't say, but it's so vague that it looks like they can keep the same card.
Yeah.
I
mean, at least it would negate the, oh my god, I forgot to schedule my appointment. My card is expired. Yeah, no, it still wouldn't negate that. My card's expired. Well, your card wouldn't expire, but
you still have to get
a lapse in would there still be a lapse in coverage?
Yeah, because you have to get the paperwork from the doctor redone still.
That's weird. Anyway, moving on.
Remove the requirement for pre-approval by DOH for advertisement marketing materials from grower processors and dispensaries. Jed's comment was, certainly would make the grower processors and dispensary lives easier. No, it's not. No. I mean, it would get them more money.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But most of the grower processors and dispensaries are controlled by corporations. It's just gonna make the CEO more money.
Yeah,
in the long
that's
run.
All
it's gonna mean that the dispensary workers are gonna have to put stuff up, move stuff down, window stickers or anything, have patient facing stuff they would have to move around.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. I fucking hated that at McDonald's and Arby's.
Yeah, that they can give. Oh my god, fucking GameStop! They'll give you a marketing kit.
Yeah. You'll
get a marketing kit to put up. And then you get to do your monthly reset, and you get to take the whole store apart, and every single store is going to look the same, and it's just going to, oh my goodness.
That does not make the dispensary workers' lives easier.
No, don't do it. No.
No, if it's just going to be hey, there's a billboard, come visit this dispensary. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever.
Or if it's hey,
newspaper article.
Insert grow processor here gave us these flyers to hand out, and they could we just print them. They emailed us things, and we can print them out and hand them out to patients because they're going to help them.
Yeah, those I don't give a crap about, you know?
Whatever.
But it's like, if it's like actual patient facing, we got to add stuff to dispensaries. That's gonna be a headache.
Yeah.
Adding prepared food edibles to the program's consumption model. Basically, refer to Section 303, the lawful use of marijuana on page 8 and 9 of the bill. The old language is proposed to be deleted, and new language is proposed to include the following: infused edible forms meant to be chewed, dissolved, taken sublingually, or swallowed. This includes oil, tincture, capsules, gummies, liquids, including beverages and other ingestible forms.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. Fuck it, yes.
I have no qualms with any of that.
Again, might as well just let's just fucking make it legal.
Might as well just make it. Yeah, might as well make it rec. Everybody, we're gonna be hotboxed in here very, very, very shortly.
Like, just fucking do it. You just.
If not, okay. Devil's advocate. If not for the plant, man, do it for the tax revenue to fix the fucking road.
But also, do it so that 5 or 6 companies that control everything aren't the only ones doing. You can have mom and pop weed shops. I want mom and pop weed shops.
Yes, there are literally no negatives left at this point, because I feel like there's gonna be more money coming back through than locking people up for fucking petty cannabis charges.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Really I'm just calling it like I see it.
To remove the restriction on smoking via combustion of flower under Section 304, the unlawful use of medical marijuana, pages 9 to 10 of the bill, the words smoking medical marijuana are proposed to be deleted.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we can stop talking in code.
Yes, even though we already fucking do
it.
Yeah. We've already said we spoke on this podcast.
Yeah.
Episode 3, we gave that up.
Yeah. You already also know nobody actually does that, right? DOH, I'm sorry if you're listening right now, and I have just burst your beautiful bubble you've been living in for the past 5 years. Nobody actually only vaporizes their plant matter.
Also, it's fucking really hard to get vaporizers in the medical program. And then
DOH approved vaporizers sold through a dispensary, so you have your patient sticker with your identification number proving that it's yours for medical use.
Well, yeah, but like you can get it at a smoke shop, but a lot of the smoke shops that sell dry herb vaporizers sketch a lot of the patients out, especially the old folks.
Yeah, head shops can be daunting for old folks.
And like, you know, because it's kind of sketchy. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of sketchy.
They are kind of sketchy, yeah.
But like, if you know better and you know your stuff, you're not gonna get screwed over. And that's the thing, and a lot of people do know their stuff. And then anything that we get in our stores has to be DOH approved and bought and given to us by a processor. So, fuck. You know?
Yeah.
Remove the restriction on advertising for physicians. Remove the language, a practitioner may not be advertising that their service as a practitioner who can certify the medical a patient for medical marijuana. Basically, a physician can't say I'm a certifying physician on their website because the DOH counts that as advertising. How do telemed groups get away with that?
Yeah, I'm very confused. I've seen advertising for, like, literally you just said, like, the get your med card today people.
Yeah.
How does that not... I'm confused.
The DOH says a lot of things and doesn't follow them. So.
Can I just be honest? That's a lot of the industry.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the... honestly, I don't know why you're even bothering at this point. Why don't you just take your hands off? It's so much easier than making all these bills and bullshit and paperwork. Sign one thing to make it rec instead of signing 7 things to make it looser for medical. But continue.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Remove the limitation that states that grower processors can only obtain and transport seeds and plant material from outside the Commonwealth for a 30-day period per year. A 30-day period specified by the DOH. This bill, page 17, would amend Act 16 to read that grower processors are authorized to do the following: obtain and transport seed and immature plants from outside the Commonwealth to grow, process as a medical marijuana. This seems like a win for grower processors, but not for PA-based companies. But this is admittedly outside of Jen's purview to comment on. I will say they've already expanded it to 90 days, even before this. So, But they are right. It is going to make it easier for the big dogs to bring in like strains from other states that they have that are going to be really good and everything.
And they're going to dominate the freaking medical market.
Because it does make it harder for the small guys. But that being said, there are a couple of small guys that did start in PA and now they're part of the big guys. So, I don't know.
I guess we'll see what happens. This is on the 26th, you said that it's going in?
Yes.
So as of releasing this, it would have already been voted on.
No.
No?
Wait.
What day's Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, so as of releasing this episode, it'll already be voted on.
We're recording on a Saturday because the next 2 days are going to be busy because family are coming over. And I thought it was legit Saturday, so I was like, no.
Yeah. It's okay. I thought it was Saturday at work today too until I was like, oh, wait, it's Friday and I had to come in tomorrow still.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Rocky was tonight. And I was like, it's Saturday night, right? Because Rocky's Saturday night. No. Not tonight. Not this month. It's Friday night.
You have another article you wanted to talk about.
I did. Oh, was it? Not that one. Sorry, I'm making weird noises.
No, you're good.
That was basically the same thing that you just talked about. I sent it to you, didn't I?
I thought you did. Well, we're looking for this. How's everyone doing?
Please stay hydrated.
Good.
That's no. I don't know. Because the article I sent you via text was literally we just discussed before we started recording.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that might have been it. Honestly.
Well, do you want to talk about some gay stuff?
Sure.
What do you want to talk about with that?
Wait, was this my article? Did I find it?
Did you find
was
it?
Was it this one?
Yes, that one.
It was this one. Okay.
It is gay stuff.
It is gay stuff. It's the other half of the podcast. So...
Continue, I'm sorry.
You're going to laugh at this, too. This article is from 69 News.
Nice.
Some news place in Pennsylvania. It's Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania approves new regulations on LGBTQ plus hairstyle and religious creed. The Pennsylvania Let me try again. The Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission announced new regulations expanding the definition of sex, religious creed, and race. The regulations are published in the Pennsylvania Bulletin and will become effective within 60 days on August 16th of 2023. Not necessarily 60 days from me reading this article, just to clarify.
60 days from the writing.
Yeah, the writing of it, which will be August 16th. The PHRC enforces state laws that prohibit discrimination. These state laws include the Pennsylvania Human Relations Act, or the PHRA, which covers discrimination in employment, housing, commercial property, education, and public accommodations, and the Pennsylvania Fair Education Opportunities Act, which is specific to post-secondary education and secondary vocational and trade schools. Under PHRA, Pennsylvania law prohibits discrimination based on race, color, age, 40 years in age and older, sex, ancestry, national origin, religion, family status, only in housing, disability, use, handling, or training of support service animals for disability, and retaliation. So basically, just kind of giving you an overview of what all they do.
Mm-hmm.
And the new regulation expands the definition for the protected class of sex to include, and I love how this is so inclusive, pregnancy status, childbirth status, breastfeeding status, sex assigned at birth, gender identity or expression, affectional or sexual orientation, and differences in sex development.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the way that's worded.
So basically covering everybody in our community.
Everyone. The expanded definition for the protected class of race includes traits historically associated with race, including hair texture and protective hairstyles.
Yes, because that is one thing that, especially when you said vocational and secondary school, that instantly threw out that some industries, beauty school is one thing that I've heard horror stories about, but like certain sports teams in colleges have had people with certain hair styles, like box braids and everything, had to have like their hair like either unbraided or whatever. I'm really butchering these. I'm sorry. It's late and I'm high. But basically, like, like for a while, I thought like certain hospitals and everything would have to have like certain hairstyle codes and everything, and if you used natural hair, it broke them.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, the regulations more clearly defined religious creed to include all aspects of religious observance and practice, as well as belief.
Yeah.
All of them, not just Christians. Because, there are others, in case you forgot again. Because, nope, that's too dark. I'm not going to say that on the podcast. Never mind. Anywho.
Glossing.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. Pennsylvania doing good stuff on that front. Real fucking confusing in the marijuana section of things right now, but I hope we get that straightened out.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there's a bill to add edibles. There's a bill that has a thing to add edibles to it for some reason, even though there's already a bill to add edibles.
Here's a bill, and here's a bill, and here's a bill.
Yeah, we should just be like, you know what? Here, just
have one.
Fucking one, man. Just God, I sound like a stoner right now.
We've been fucking jiving with this for 5 years now, and it's been working. And we finally got some sort of like pass the edible shit through, and then just like make it rec too.
Just make it rec. Just make it rec across the board.
Sign 2 bills instead of like 7.
Yeah, just have it, make it rec.
Yeah.
And in that same bill,
amend to
where we can have it combustible and edibles.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
That's all we need.
And maybe have a thing about, maybe some anti-monopolies with the MSOs, because fuck MSOs.
Or give fucking dispensaries some protection with banks in this state. How about that?
That too. I don't think any. Well, that's more of a federal issue.
Yeah, well,
because of all the FDICs and everything with that.
I'm blowing out their ass.
I will say, I was talking to a patient one day, and because I was helping someone earlier, and like he was waiting because we got busy and everything, and I was telling the lady, she's like, "Can I use my credit card?" I'm like, "Oh, unfortunately, no dispensary in the country can." Because, banks don't really like us like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "No worries." And a guy was talking about, like, "Yeah, I've heard that. It's so weird. Do you think anywhere?" I'm like, "Maybe Canada and Mexico?" He goes, "Why?" Because, like, they're federally legal there? Mm-hmm. Really? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Huh. He's like, "I wish you hadn't told me that." And I'm like, "Why?" "Because I'm going to Canada in a couple of weeks." I'm about to max out my credit cards.
Oh boy.
I'm like, "Hey, yeah. How much weed are you going to max out on a $2,000 credit card? It's Canada. You're not bringing that shit here."
No. You can get stopped at you can probably get stopped at the border.
Yeah, honestly. Dude, can you imagine, like, oh, dude, New York's legal.
Yeah.
You imagine, like, the Canadian-New York hockey games?
Oh, that'd be great. Now I want to go to one. We need to go.
Well, hell, need to visit my brother.
Yep, let's go. Pick him up on the way. Let's go. I like
Me too. So weird he smokes.
If you're listening to this, hi.
Hey, bro. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, it's in my family, it's getting a lot more accepting and everything because it's been a very big shift in knowledge and everything, and it's really nice to see. I grew up with the mentality, me personally, of for the longest time, I had a lot of friends in high school who smoked weed, and it was more of I don't really see the intrigue. You know, it's like getting super fucking drunk. Would I like a drink? Yes, because it tastes good. Do I want to get blackout fucking drunk all the time? No, I never want to get blackout drunk. That was never the point for me, you know? Some people like getting really tipsy and like they lose their balance and they have a good time. I'm like, cool, fine for them. I don't like that. So it was kind of like that for me. Like weed was kind of on that same way. But as I got older and I learned more and more and, thought it could help, I tried it and I like it. I will say I did try it in college a lot. I've already said that on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that was kind of the thing. It was more of I had it to where, I really didn't care. Because also in high school, I had to worry because I was planning on going into the military.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they test with the hair follicle. So I was like, yeah, no. I mean, they don't have to, but a lot, they can and will. Especially if they have any suspicions that you're gonna, they want to make sure, So some guys, when they went in, just shaved every single bit of hair on their body.
Can't find it. If there isn't any here.
Oh, no. What they would do then is, if they really wanted to get it, they were in a recruiting deficit when I came in, and it's even gotten worse. So I don't think they were really too, upset one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But if they really wanted to, like if you were a court-appointed guy, I would imagine, they will literally pull off all your dead skin till they get enough hair particles off it. They usually do it with the scalp, I think. That's what I've heard. I haven't seen that.
Cheek swabs work too.
I haven't seen that. Literally, all I did when I went into the military is did a piss test, and then while they were checking my piss, I had to do a color number slab thing.
So you weren't colorblind?
Yeah, they had to check if I was colorblind or not, which I'm not.
Color stupid.
No, that's you.
That's what I said. I'm color stupid.
Anything else you want to bring up?
I don't think so. I think that was about it.
Okay. We still have the donation for Proud Haven going on.
Go donate.
Go donate. It is until the 12th of July, not August, because I know how my months work now. But that is going until July 12th. And then after this episode released after the day ends. But Best of Pittsburgh for 2023 from the Pittsburgh City Paper. July 10th. Voting for the best of the best that were nominated is going to happen. If we get into the final round of nominations and we're on that voting screen, please vote for us. I would greatly appreciate that. I want that plaque.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, I guess it's just time to sign off.
Yeah.
Once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And this has been another episode of
Smoking Out the Closet.
Bye.
Bye.